Before I start the video, I want to know one thing. Do you guys know what teabagging is? And no, it's not a tea bag, I'm talking about video games. But for real, I love tea, why did they call it teabagging? Do I have to say no homo every time I drink tea? Well, I don't always use a tea bag to make tea, but you get what I'm saying. Teabagging is when you crouch over and over in a video game over a dead body. And because of that, Dilly was disqualified from Apex Legends tournament. Well, actually, his whole team was disqualified. And like he says in the tweet, he teabagged his own teammates' box because in Apex Legends there's no corpses. If you die, you usually turn into a box. You know, loot boxes, and they want to sell microtransactions and gambling to kids. So they try to make the gambling process as child friendly as possible. Anyway, Dilly pressed crouch 3 times during this round. From what I saw, it's a free versus free tournament, and one of his teammates died. But after he won the round, he was teabagging his teammates' box. And apparently that was too much for the Apex Legends, I have no idea how to call him. Let's say offended inclusivity and diversity officer. Because I see a lot of corporations stop making games anymore. They just make marketing. They try to implement as much gambling as possible in video games. And the rest of the money doesn't go in writing, in game design, in level design. The rest of the money apparently goes to the let's act like we are offended diversity and inclusion officer. Because that's what I think the correct definition of the guy that I will show you in a few seconds is.
Twitch, the Terra Day, appreciate you sticking around. Yo, okay, Dilly is, Crazy Penguins is disqualified. I'm not taking that at all. Oh, he went over to the dead body that they just killed, and he went teabagged on the death box.
If you blink, you don't even know what happened. So let's get this straight. They don't care that their servers are shit. Because from what I see, their connection is very, very bad. I have no idea how they can play this game. And it's a tournament. But this guy cares that Dilly pressed crouch 3 times in 2 seconds. Over a box. So in a shooting game where you have to shoot other people, their only issue is that you teabag their loot boxes. And yeah, I know that's not a loot box, whatever. At this point, they act like Dilly teabagged their mothers.
I have.
Pen and pattern. Yeah, so we're here to create a safe space for all gamers, everybody, and that kind of stuff will not be tolerated.
Okay, it's very hard for me to say this without laughing. But the guy says that he's trying to create a safe space. A safe space for who? The chat doesn't care. The guys who play Apex doesn't care. His friend who was teabagged doesn't care. This professional offended person hired by Apex is the only one offended and the only one who wants a safe space. No sane person wants a safe space. Do you know what people want? Good servers, no cheaters, and no loot boxes or microtransactions. I do not understand why people play this garbage. Because apparently you're not allowed to play this game and have fun. I guess you must be as serious as possible, just like a robot. You cannot joke with your friends. Probably you're not even allowed to laugh because maybe somebody will get offended that you left because you won a game. If crouching is so devastating, so harmful, why does it still exist in the game? Apparently getting offended is the worst thing that can happen in this game. But why stop there? Maybe somebody is offended by the scoreboard. So why don't you disqualify everybody? Because that way nobody wins. So nobody can be offended. But for real now, at first I didn't want to make a video about this. Mostly because I don't care about Apex Legends. But also because I thought that this is fake. Or at most a tournament that nobody cares about. Something made for fun. I mean, clearly this guy has a carpet on his wall. So he probably streams from his grandmother's place. Because only my grandmother had a carpet on the wall. And no, I'm not making fun of him, I really think that. But apparently not, this guy was legit. He is part of the Apex Legends team. You can see in the video how offended he was. But then somebody tells him that he teabagged the teammate. Then he stops and thinks for a second. He knows that his teammate will not care, and he is the only one offended.
They're trying to say that was his own teammate. Yeah, they're saying that he teabagged his own teammate.
But after that, I think his brain died. Because he doesn't care. He feels like somebody should be offended. Even if that somebody is him.
So it doesn't matter, folks. Like, when you're in a tournament, you're in a professional tournament. You can't be doing that. And something people need to really understand. Yeah, so, like, you can't do that. Just like I'm telling you're going to tell me teabagging my own teammate is toxic. All right, so then this is where we're going to shut the lobby down at this point because I'm not going to get into that one because absolutely it is. Unfortunately, yes, disqualified because, yes, you cannot do that, folks. Sportsmanship. Sportsmanship, 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 right? You cannot go and teabag your own teammates in any organized sports. So why would you come into an organized tournament and go and do something like that? So no, you cannot teabag your own teammates or anybody for that matter. So do not teabag teammates in the future.
So he doesn't even have the balls to have a conversation why is it toxic. He just closes the lobby and ends the discussion. Because he knows the next question will be who is offended. Why is pressing crunch over a box an issue? And the only answer that he has is that he feels it's offensive. He feels it's offensive. Nobody else.
Just because you can hide behind this and get to use this little thing, you're not going to do that in the real world, so don't. Don't do that.
This guy clearly doesn't have real friends. I don't teabag my friends in real life, but we usually make fun of each other. So we don't do stupid stuff only in video games, we also do it in real life. We make bad jokes, we talk shit, we basically almost act the same way as online. If you ever had real friends, you will know that. You do not decide how other people have fun. I mean, I will get it if the other team was a bunch of pussies and they will be offended and they wanted to use that for an excuse to win the game. You are the only one. The only loser. You actually didn't win anything. You just showed everybody how big of a loser you are. First of all, if you play a game and you don't want to use your real identity, it doesn't mean you're scared or you care. Nobody is actually hiding. I'm pretty sure that Dilly or any other players from that tournament has the balls to come and say to your face whatever they have to say. I don't think they are hiding. So this guy is using his admin privileges to hide behind his internet power, but he is the one telling others that they hide behind a keyboard. Just because you show your face doesn't mean you don't hide behind your keyboard. Anyway, life is full of sheep. Retarded sheep. Or NPCs or whatever you want to call them. I don't really have an issue with them. But I have an issue with Fate Legion. And they are 100% okay with this. And they even say that the situation have 100% been altered to suit the creator's needs for the narrative he needed to start a riot on social media. Oh, the poor corporation doesn't like it when the people don't agree with the rules. The rules that don't even exist. Because I don't think the rules say that you are not allowed to crunch over and over a box. Fate Legion also says that
Dilly was verbally disqualified in the moment for his unsportsmanlike conduct, but was allowed to finish the tournament and receive his payout as second place finisher. During the tournament, the Shoutcaster owner commented on them being disqualified for the unprofessionalism they showed. The ban at first was made in the heat of the moment, which we do apologize for. But we reviewed it after the completion of the stream, and we're going to unban him so he could participate again. Again, Dilly and his teammate were left to play the tournament out and receive their prize winning at the end. Dilly was never given a formal ban, just a hit-of-the-moment verbal one that could have easily been retracted had Dilly appealed the ban and provided proof whatsoever. Unfortunately, Dilly provided no such proof other than to mention in-game chat that it was a teammate. What you have seen on Twitter was him taking the time to go into his own broadcast, clip what he needed, fabricate content to slander our tournaments, and pushed it to friends to widespread instead of reporting things properly. Furthermore, the only thing we received from Dilly was an obscure message stating how terrible we are.
Because you are, you fucking idiots. Apex Legends, if they care about their image, they should never allow you to do tournaments again. What does verbally disqualified means? He basically was disqualified because that guy closed the lobby, exited the game, the tournament. He then realized that he's a fucking idiot and he can probably get sued or something like that because there was no rule against pressing crouch. So what if Dilly was still allowed to finish the tournament and win the prize? That Shoutcaster and owner should have never banned him. Not even verbally, whatever that means. Fate Legion also says that Dilly provided no such proof other than to mention in game chat that it was a teammate. Proof of what? Proof that he didn't teabag? Or that he teabagged a friend? Because it doesn't matter how you put it. The Shoutcaster slash owner clearly said that it doesn't matter who he teabagged. So again, Dilly should have proven what? That the owner of the Fate Legion tournament is an idiot? Obsessed with abusing his power? Because that thing is very clear and apparently you guys don't have any proof that he isn't. He verbally disqualified Dilly, then he realized that it was a mistake. There was absolutely no rule that said teabagging is not okay. Because if it was, he will still be banned and you will show the rule. So this just proves that not only the owner is a pussy, Fate Legion is a pussy. So I really want to continue what Fate Legion said, because I find it very interesting.
Having said that, we were willing to ignore the admin abuse he sent as opposed to banning him to rectify the heat of the moment commentating. Having said that, one of our members sent us links to forum pages and other social media platforms where Dilly goes on a rant about the heat of the moment decision using friends in influential positions to post on it to make a stir. He said there were no rules in place during the tournament, but that is false as we do have rules in place. Having said this, we acknowledge that our rules are broad and don't speak specifically to the act itself. We are currently rewriting them so it's easier to understand and apologize for the inconvenience we have caused due to this. The ban, however, went from his unsportsmanlike conduct to his permanent ban due to his actions of trying to start a hate slander campaign against Fate Legion. His friends, who is an influencer on Twitter, Jake Lucky, decided to get involved and ask everyone passive-aggressively to come to join our community Discord and speak to us on the subject. Jake Lucky even goes so far as to drop the owner's in-game name and other social media platforms for people to send what turned into a hate and death message.
So you even say that you have no rules against teabagging. So what the owner did was illegal. He abused his power. So now you have an issue that Dilly showed how retarded Fate Legion is. And you have an issue that a lot of people don't agree with you and that they hate you. I don't agree with the death threats. But I'm pretty sure Jake Lucky or Dilly never said to the users to go and threat you. They thought that your rule that doesn't exist should not be applied. Let's keep things simple. They showed what happened, and Fate Legion agrees with what happened. Of course, after I see somebody getting punished for teabagging, it doesn't matter if it's a teammate or not, of course I will say, fuck you, Fate Legion. You were the ones who applied the rule that doesn't exist. The owner of the tournament who verbally punished Dilly is still working there, and still represents Fate Legion. He is still not sorry for what he did. The only thing you are sorry for is that that rule didn't exist. Because apparently if you guys don't like something, you apply a rule that doesn't exist, you punish somebody, then you go and make that rule. So you deserve the hate. You deserve a lot of hate. You also should not be allowed to make tournaments anymore. At least not with the idiot who wrote this message and not with the owner who verbally banned somebody for teabagging a teammate.
Speaking of misinformation and facts, let us dive into them, shall we? As it stands, here was the old writing on the rule and as well as our space. We aim to strive and provide sportsmanship-based competition gaming, which stands as a pillar of our business. So, in our space description alone, it is implied that we are a space that believes in good sportsmanship, which sportsmanship is defined as fair and generous behavior or treatment of others, especially in a sports contest. By no means in any way, shape or form is crouching up and down repeatedly on an enemy or friend any kind of sportsmanship. Furthermore, it is not about the players themselves but the viewers watching the content. As well, studies have shown that toxic behavior in gaming such as teabagging and shooting bodies is a contagious event that will not stop due to the fact that it has always been around, so it is here to stay.
So your rule is sportsmanship, 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 sportsmanship. I think the owner of the tournament was the one lacking sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is when you try to have a fair game. More exactly, you don't cheat, you don't try to abuse the rules, and you try to respect the other team. Now tell me how crouching up and down repeatedly is not sportsmanship, especially when it's with your own teammate. And even if it wasn't with a teammate, I'm 100% sure teabagging is more of a taunt. This is why teabagging is here to stay, and you give me a link to toxicity, hate, and harassment in gaming. Are you for real? And even in that article, it doesn't say anything about teabagging. And you also say shooting bodies in the contagious event. Are you kidding me? It's a shooting game. Fate Legion, for real now, I think this is not for you. Apparently, it's very easy for you to get triggered by a shooting game. Crouching up and down is an issue. Shooting bodies is an issue. I think these type of games are too much for you guys. And now you insist in saying that not the owner was the one triggered. It was the viewers watching the content. Do you understand that absolutely nobody had an issue with that? You try to say that it was for the enemy team. You try to say that it was the viewers. But the only person was the owner of the tournament. And apparently Fate Legion supports that. The owner of the tournament is the only one who doesn't want to get triggered. Now let's read the next page, because their non-excuse have 2 pages.
This makes it a package deal that makes the action in general toxic due to the backend nature that it is used to demoralize players due to lack of skill. When players perform the act, they usually accompany it with negative wording to put the other player down regardless if they can hear it or not. The only thing this action does is to try to assert one's dominance over another. How is this kind of behavior condoned?
Well, I'm pretty sure that's the idea of a PvP game. You have to assert your dominance over another player. Isn't this the same as a game of FIFA? After you score a game, you do a dance to show your dominance. You celebrate that you are better. But for real now, if you don't want teabagging or overshooting a body in a video game, a tournament, then say so in your rules. Don't hide behind the word like sportsmanship. Because you can use that excuse to ban somebody for any reason.
It saddens me to see high-end influencers and gaming media outlets posting stories on this with no fact-checking at all. This spread of misinformation has gotten so bad and out of control that Jake, Lucky and Dilly are now being attacked for being the ones to ban, when in fact it was not. To clarify, Dilly and Jake Lucky have nothing to do with Fate Legion and the tournaments we organize and host. They just posted misinformation to the point they are now seeing backlash about their own post about us. So no, they did not have anything to do with Dilly's ban. The reason it has taken us so long to release a statement was due to the fact of the riot these two started. With the sad reality that this post was made after an hour after the tournament. So instead of taking the clip he made for Twitter and submitting it as proof, he decided to take it to social media instead, to have the people fight his appeal for him.
Okay, I didn't really understand what they are trying to say, but I get it that they still finished the tournament and got the second place prize. But that still doesn't excuse Fate Legion of their reaction to the issue. You were the ones who started all of this. You have an owner who is very easily triggered. He started all of this. And when Dilly and his teammates tried to talk with him, he closed the lobby. Are you understanding that? He didn't try to communicate with them, to tell them why it's wrong, to understand if it's okay to ban him. No, they just closed the lobby. Of course he's toxic. I don't want to talk with them. So if you guys have an owner who acts like that and you support him, all of his power abuse should have been made public.
To clarify to all, we are brand new to tournament organizing, which we started about 3 months ago. We here at Fate Legion are not perfect, but strive to do our best to give a quality service within the entertainment and gaming industry. So to the accusations that we are some big tournament host, currently is false. That either owner or Fate Legion members have any power or authority to ban players from Apex Legends tournaments or games that are not hosted by Fate Legion is false. Or that sexual assault was even thought about in the ban is false.
Being new to a tournament is not an excuse for your power abuse. I mean, I understand you are new to a tournament, you can make mistakes. But your owner clearly has an issue. Some anger management issues. You talk about toxic behavior, but your owner is the most toxic person in your team. If you would actually read a book about toxic people, you would understand that you guys are the toxic ones. Abusing your admin privileges is a toxic behavior. Refusing to explain the punishment and talking with the players banned, verbally banned, is toxic behavior. This is basic knowledge. If somebody breaks the rules, you show them the rules and you explain to them why it was wrong. But that guy just threw some buzzwords and he refused to listen or to talk with anybody. Anyway, this video is already too long, so I will not talk about the last part. I mean, I will not read the last parts. They basically say that Dilly and Jake Lucky has broken Electronic Arts user agreement in Chapter 6 Rules of Conduct, sub point 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 23 and 25. Was it so hard to add a link or something because I cannot find it? And they end up the discussion saying again that they are new and that they hope that Apex Legends will still let them host tournaments and that they are sorry that this thing exploded. I just watched Penguin Zero Critical and he talked about this issue and he was reading the terms and service from EA. Nothing that Legion said was applicable. Dilly did not break any rules. So after all of this, Fate Legion's excuse is that Dilly made everything public. And I don't know about others, but I didn't care about the ban. I only had an issue with the owner's reaction to something that was taunt, banter, in a video game. Nothing special. You can taunt somebody by doing a dance, an emote, whatever. Why is teabagging worse than using a stupid emote? Also, their response to all of this is very childish. Their message is not clear. They act like they did nothing wrong. The only mistake was that everybody found out what they did. They are still trying to say what Dilly did was toxicity, hate and harassment somehow. And apparently not only the owner, all the Fate Legion team is very triggered. They do not act like professionals. And by their response, I don't think they will ever be professionals. Because they still don't understand what they did wrong. Anyway, my question is teabagging such a big deal? And you should not be allowed to have fun during a tournament?